Hey guys, it's your girl, Delightful Debbie, and I am bringing you a tutorial today on how to make this gorgeous and beautiful boo-boo with drawstrings, two different fabrics, and it got pockets. So y'all, let's just get straight into it. Y'all are finna look so cute in this dress, so let's make it. Hey guys, so we are doing the pattern drafting right now. So right now I have my two fabrics folded and they are laid on top of each other. So they're folded in half and laid on top of each other. So I just clipped it together and we are going to be drawing out the starting line, the shoulder line as it's called. So I just put the shoulder line. I hope you can see my chalk very well. So next, I am going to be taking 1 inch from the center, from the folded point of the things. It's for the drawstrings because you know it has drawstrings. So we're going to take 1 inch and just mark a straight line all the way with 1 inch for drawstrings and also for seam allowance to sew the front and to sew the two different fabrics together. So you're just going to mark it throughout the entire length of your fabric, just 1 inch for the drawstrings and also for stitching allowance. So I'm just drawing that out with my ruler right now on both fabrics. Remember, they're laid on top of each other. So next, after we have done that, we will be drawing out the neckline. So I'm going to be doing a normal 3x3 neckline. If you are on the bigger side, you can do 3.5 or 4. But if you're on the smaller side, 3x3 should be perfect for you. So I'm only marking the back neckline right now. So I went in by 3 inches and went down by 1.5 inches. And I'm just using my curved ruler to draw out the markings. So yeah, that's the back neckline. We're not marking the front neckline for now. We'll mark it later. So then I'm going to be marking my shoulder. So my shoulder divided in 2 is 7.5. So I accidentally marked from the neckline, which is not what you're supposed to do. Mark from the straight line that we drew, the 1 inch mark from the straight line. So as you can see, I corrected it. Mark your shoulder measurement divided by 2 from the straight line. So after you do that, you're then going to mark your sleeve measurement. Since this is a boo-boo, it's cut together. So you're just going to mark the sleeve. I just use the remaining of the fabric on the side for the sleeve. You can use the more fabric you have, the longer your sleeve will be. So I just did about 9 inches for my sleeve measurement. So that's what I did for the sleeve, marking from the shoulder. Then you're going to go down by 1 inch for your shoulder slope. Now, this is optional. You don't have to do this since this is a cut together sleeve, but it just makes your work turn out a lot nicer and it falls on your body nicely. So you can mark that 1 inch shoulder slope. So then you're going to mark the width of your sleeve, like how open you want it to be. For me, I did around 10 inches. You can do 9, you can do 8, you can do 11, you can do 13, as much as you want. But I did 10 for mine. I think that's really good, open sleeve. So then I'm going to mark a straight line from the shoulder to that point that I have marked right there, as you can see. So then I'm going to mark down to around my waistline. I'm not marking it. I'm just, taking the measurement to around my waistline or to my under bust if you would prefer that. But it's not really going to matter since it is a boo-boo. So from that point, you are going to take your you're going to take your hip measurement divided by 4 plus an extra inches for ease. You're going to take your hip measurement divided by 4 plus extra inches. 3 inches, 4 inches, as much as you want. It depends on how big you want your boo-boo. Then you're just going to curve it into your armhole. You're going to curve it into your sleeve. So as you can see, I just used my French curve to curve it into my sleeve. That is what you're going to do. Your hip measurement divided by 4 plus 3 inches or 4 inches if you want it, bigger. But I think 3 inches is good for anyone. Then you're going to mark the length of your dress. I already cut my fabric out based on the length I wanted it, which was 45. So, yeah, just mark the length of your dress. I want my dress to be 44 plus 1 inch, 45 for seam allowance. Then from that point that we marked for the armhole, you're just going to mark a straight line to the rest of the dress. This is very easy to pattern draft. It doesn't have any shape, nothing like that, because it is a boo-boo. So you're just going to mark a straight line to the end of your fabric. So now we're just going to go ahead and cut the entire thing out. Just go ahead and cut it out. Cut the shoulder, cut the neckline. Remember to add seam allowance. Now, I was already adding the seam allowance when I was pattern drafting, so I didn't need to do that. Oh, y'all, I just cut my hair. Anyway, yeah, just keep cutting out all the places that we marked. Just watch where I'm cutting and do as so. Okay, guys, so after we cut all the places that we pattern draft, next, the middle point where we folded, we're going to be cutting that in half because, one for the front, one for the back piece, and also we're joining the two fabrics. So we're going to cut that in half. Remember, we still have that 1 inch that we marked earlier. That's not going anywhere. So just cut both of the fabrics in half on the folds, as you can see that I'm doing right now. So yeah, now that we've cut it out, I'm going to take two of the pieces, the inside pieces, just pull them out. Those are going to be the back pieces. And now we're going to mark for the front pieces, because remember, we haven't marked the front neckline out. So take the two middle pieces out, and now we're going to be marking the front neckline. So for the front neckline, obviously, it's a V neckline. So what we're going to do, we're going to fold in and clip or pin that 1 inch that we left earlier to cut out the front neckline. Y'all will understand later what I'm doing. Just make sure to fold in the 1 inch that we marked earlier for the front neckline. So I'm going to go up by 1.5 inches, which is what I went down for the back neckline. I'm going to go up to it, and then I'm going to mark down to what I want my neckline to be. I marked 8 inches. You can do whatever inches you like. If you don't want it too open, if you want it, but I just marked 8 inches. I think it's a good point, and you're just going to cut it out right there as the V neckline because, we're doing a V neckline. So I unclipped it, and as you can see, guys, you see that point that it's, curved like that. The reason for that is so we can fold it in like this when we're using the seam allowance, and it'll line up directly with the neckline. So guys, right now I've sewed the back piece together using that 1 inch seam allowance that I left, and I ironed the seam open so it's all nice and neat. We sewed the two back pieces together. As you can see, it's already looking gorgeous. And I also sewed the front piece together make sure you guys use that 1 inch allowance that we left when we were pattern drafting. As you can see, it's already looking so beautiful with the two fabrics next to each other, and you see how the V-neck is coming out. It's super gorgeous. The V is Ving, y'all, and as you can see, I've ironed it out, and we used the 1 inch seam allowance, and the neckline met up as it was supposed to. So you can see my stitch there. Everything is looking nice and neat. So yeah, that's what we got so far. So yeah, just iron it, and that's what we got for the front piece. So now we'll be working on the pockets in the front right now, guys. My favorite part. We're going to be working on the pockets in the front. So I'm about to go cut that out right now. So I've already cut out the pocket on the green fabric, so I'm just going to show y'all what I did. So for the measurement of the pocket, I did 8 inches, 8 inches by 8 inches by 8 inches, so an 8 by 8 pocket. I think it's a really good size. You can do bigger if you want, you can do smaller, but 8 by 8 is a really good size for you to do, and your hand can fit in perfectly. So that's what I did. Now I'm going to cut it out on the second fabric, and as you can see at the edges, I just curved it a little bit. You can freestyle this. You don't have to use chalk, but if you want to use chalk, just a small curve at the end to make it, so the pocket can pocket. So right now I'm cutting out on my second fabric. I'm cutting out the pocket, the shape, and everything. And 8 by 8 is a really good size for your pocket, guys. So we have the 2 pockets here right now. So next, I have brought back my front piece, and we will be attaching the pockets right now. So what we will be doing first of all is hemming the top of the pocket. So just fold about 1 inch in, just hem the top of the pocket so there's no fraying or anything, and it looks neat. So just sew that down. Very simple. Do it on both of the pockets. And then after that, we're going to be putting the pockets on the fabric. Now, guys, obviously we're switching it up. One fabric will be on one side, the other will be on the other side. So for the measurement of the placement of the pocket, you will be going down by your shoulder to waist, and you're going to add 2 inches to it. You can do exactly at your waistline, but I don't recommend that. It's going to be too high for you. So just do your shoulder to waist plus 2 inches. So my shoulder to waist is 15.5. So plus 2 inches would be 17.5. So I'm just going to do a small mark with my chalk there, and that's going to be on both sides of the fabric. So your shoulder to waist plus 2 inches. So guys, don't copy my measurements, use your own measurements. But my shoulder to waist is 15.5. So plus 2 inches would make 17.5. And honestly, for anybody, that would be the perfect placement. 2 inches below your waistline. So I'm just going to mark that on both sides of my fabric. So guys, I'm just going to take my pockets and put it on right on that point. Remember, we still have to hem the top of the pocket, so we'll go do that now. And from the middle point of the fabric, you're going to go out by about 3 inches for your pockets to sit. I think 3 inches is perfect. You can also do 2.5 inches, but 3 inches out from the middle is just really perfect for your pocket to go. So you're just going to lay it right on that point on both sides, which will be really, really, really good. So that it's not too close to the side, but it's not too close to the middle. And as we're sewing the pockets on, guys, you're just going to be hemming around the pocket as you're sewing it on your fabric. Very simple. So guys, right now I have just finished sewing the pockets on, and they are already looking so beautiful. And I can put my hand in it and everything, which is really, really nice. I love how this is turning out. So next, guys, we'll be working on the ruffles that go around the pocket. I'm going to be working on the ruffles. So for the measurement of the ruffles, you can do whatever you want. I did about 64 inches for the measurement, the length of the ruffles. You can do any amount of inches you want. It just depends on how much ruffles you want, but I did about 64. I think it was even too much. I think I had to cut some off. But yeah, just make sure you have enough to make your ruffles really full and really nice. And for the width, it's 2 inches. Make sure the width of your ruffles is 2 inches. So guys, basically we're just gonna pleat or gather our ruffles all around the pocket. You're just gonna pleat them all around the pocket. Very simple. And remember, guys, just so you know, I've already hemmed the side of the pocket, the side of the ruffles, and I've zigzag stitched the top. So if you don't have a serger or an overlocking foot, you could just zigzag stitch. So I've just overlocked the top and I hemmed the other side of the ruffles, and we're just going to go ahead and pleat them all around the pocket. As you can see, me just holding it, it's already looking beautiful. So you will do that on both sides of the thing. So guys, right now I have sewn the ruffles on. I just top stitched them. And look at how beautiful they're looking, guys. I love how the ruffles are looking. Everything is so nice and neat underneath too. So that is a really good strategy for the pockets, and they're looking so beautiful already. So now we are going to work on the drawstring area. Gonna work on the drawstring area because, you know, we got to do that now. So I'm just going to seam rip about 1 inch up from the end of the fabric. I'm just going to seam rip about 1 inch up because we do still need to hem. So where you stitch down in the middle, just seam rip about 1 inch. As you can see, I'm seam ripping right now. Seam rip 1 inch from the top. So right now we have that rip right there. I just opened it up. You can go up by 1 inch because that's how much we're going to be using. And we're just going to hem on both sides. That is the reason why we seam ripped it, so we can hem it on both sides so that everything can be neat. As you can see, I'm holding it right now, and you're going to stitch it on both sides of the fabric. That's why we seam ripped it open. And then after that, we are going to for the drawstrings, we're just going to go in by about 1/4 or 1/2 inch for the drawstrings. Just hem it exactly where, because we have to make a casing for the drawstrings to be. So hem that seam allowance. That's why we left 1 inch for it all the way to the top. We just hem it. Okay, guys? So guys, we've just finished hemming the drawstring area and the bottom of the dress. Make sure you do it on the back piece, guys. Make sure you hem the bottom of the dress. You don't have to hem the drawstring area because there's no drawstrings on the back, but make sure you hem the bottom of the dress. So yeah, we have finished on that, and we have made our casings for the drawstrings. Y'all, with this colorful fabric, we can't even see the stitch on the front. So for the drawstrings, obviously you guys can fold fabric and, you know, do it as the two fabrics as bias tape and everything. But me, it's your girl, y'all. I wanted to be extra, so I did bias tape. I used bias tape for my drawstrings. I just think it would come out really nice and it would pop. So if you were to use the fabric, if you want to, just fold it like bias tape and iron it and everything, and you can sew it. But me, girl, I'm finna use bias tape. So yeah, just go ahead and do that. And make sure you cut out 10 inches longer than the length of your dress. So as you know, the length of my dress is 44 inches. So 44 plus 10, let's do our math, people. 44 plus 10 equals 54. Yeah, so make sure you do 10 inches longer than the length of your dress for your drawstrings, so you'll still be able to pull on it and everything. So I'm just measuring my bias tape right now. But if you want to use the fabric, you can encase it and everything. You can iron it and fold it and do all that jazz. But me, I just want to use bias tape because I think it would really pop. So you're just going to stitch your bias tape down, or the fabric. If you guys are using fabric, just stitch it down really quickly. Okay, so now that I've stitched it down, I decided to use brown thread. I just think it would come out nicely and everything. But yeah, so I've stitched my bias tape down and I stitched the top down. Yeah, so I stitched the top down, guys. So now we're going, since we already made the casing when we sewed it and everything, I'm just going to take a safety pin. You can take whatever, but I just took a safety pin, and I'm just using that to put the drawstrings through the fabric. So let's do that really quickly, guys. Put the drawstrings through the fabric with a safety pin. The safety pin will make your life so much easier, guys. Don't try to do this if you don't have a safety pin. Just go out and buy one, because if you try to do this without a safety pin, it's not easy. Just get a safety pin and do it really quickly. So yeah, let's go. So guys, right now I just finished putting the first string through, and as you can see, you know why I told y'all to make sure to make it 10 inches longer, so that there's still extra string to pull out from. And then we're going to do it on the other side, and I'm also going to use the bias tape to pipe my neckline. You can use facing if you want, but it's just easier. Just use bias tape to pipe your neckline, the back and front neckline. It's just really nice. So guys, now that I have done that, I just made my bias tape on my neckline show because I think it would match the drawstrings. I think it'll be really cute, but if you don't want it to show, just make sure you fold the bias tape in. But yeah, mine is showing, and I think it turned out really, really cute. So I already put the drawstrings through, and make sure you stitch the top of the drawstrings so that they don't come out. And I did this on the back and front. So now guys, it is time to finally connect the dress. Ooh, we're almost done. Well done, everybody. So we're gonna sew the shoulders together. Then after sewing the shoulders, we're just gonna hem our sleeve area. We're just gonna hem it, and then the last thing to do is sew the sides down. And we are done with this dress, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and now you can see how my dress turned out. It is so beautiful, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, like, and share for more tutorials. I love y'all. See you later. Bye.